This is the cover of a book that is now out, written by CECIL Mosenson. It is about Wilt Chamberlain. It all began with Wilt. CECIL was 22 years of age, the coach at Overbrook High School in 1952, and there is a classic shot. What's this shot? As we welcome you, by the way, Cecil, to the program. This shot of you and Wilt.
This shot of Wilt and me is he was being presented with an award and a plaque from the Philadelphia Inquirer, and there was another person on the picture that we sliced off.
That wouldn't be Phil Jasner, would it? Phil Jasner was
I was just a child.
You were just a child, a mere child.
Phil Jasner was a counselor at my camp.
Is that right?
A few years ago.
That is true. A few years ago.
So, give us some anecdotes about what you bring in this book, and kind of letting everybody know about Wilt, the player, from his early years.
Well, there are a lot of anecdotes that people don't know about. Little things that happened between Wilt and me. As he was a junior, he was creating some problems and trying to grow up. There was one time when he scored 71 points against a team, and we were going to play that team again. And in practice, they were fooling around. I said to Wilt, "You can't fool around." And as 22, I was different then. I've mellowed. And he said he didn't do anything. And I said, "Well, you're off the team." And I asked him to leave the practice, and we practiced without him. And I went to the principal, and I said, "I just threw Wilt Chamberlain off the team. You better prepare a press release." I think he was ready to faint.
How about a riot? Not a press release. How about a riot?
And he said, "Well, let's wait till Monday."
Yeah.
And Monday, I passed him in the hallway, and he looked the other way. And I went down to practice, and Wilt came to practice, and he had a ball in his hand. And he started to walk over to me, and I thought he was going to hit me with the ball. And he said, "Coach, would you teach me how to shoot a hook shot?" And from that moment on, our relationship mellowed.
Wow.
It was pretty good.
The best part of this for me is Cecil came to me and said, "I've written a book." Right. And he handed me an essay. It was maybe 18 inches in the Philadelphia Daily News. And we talked for a while. And that turned into a chapter, which turned into a short story, which turned into a book. And there's a ton of stories and anecdotes in here that are really, really interesting and really give you some insight into not only Wilt, but what it was like to be a head coach at such a young age.
Well, and we'll show some people some video from back in the day of a film, back in the day at Overbrook. And just, first of all, the specimen. I mean, the guy was just an unbelievable athlete.
Neil, I was interviewed a few weeks ago by a New York radio station. They said he's not the best basketball player ever. He is the best athlete ever. I was looking at some of the statistics that he has. Most consecutive 50-point games, 7 times. Most 40-point games in a season, 63 times. Most consecutive field goals without a miss, 18 for 18. And it goes on and on and on. His credentials are really incredible. And they're trying to make a postage stamp now of him in the United States.
Do you think that, everyone talks about Michael Jordan, and I'm sure you're asked all the time, greatest player ever. But Phil, put in perspective what this guy, how he changed the game.
They changed rule after rule after rule. If I remember correctly, Overbrook had a play, an out-of-bounds play, where the guy inbounding the ball would just throw it over top of the backboard. Wilt would meet it at the top. There were times when guys would shoot free throws, and because the rules were different then, the ball would be in the air and Wilt would come out of nowhere and just dunk it. And if I remember correctly, did he not? I know he attempted it, to just stand at the foul line, take a running start, and dunk it, and as long as the ball went through before he came down, it was a good free throw.
And they also changed the lane from 6 feet to 12 feet.
Exactly.
So that he couldn't just get in and dunk the ball. He dominated the game so much that I don't know that if they really appreciate what an outstanding athlete he was.
I'm fascinated by the other kids on the team.
Yeah.
How did they treat him? And was he a normal kid?
They treated him as if he were nothing. Look, Ira Davis was on the team, who was the Olympic hop, step, and jump champion for the United States and was the captain of the team. And Jimmy Sadler and a few of the others, they were dear friends. They went wherever they went and never had a problem. And didn't say, "Oh, this is Wilt Chamberlain." He was just another guy.
And they were 56-3. You were 56-3 during his 3 years at Overbrook. Who were the 3 losses?
I only lost one.
You only lost one. Okay.
Wait a minute.
So
and the one that I lost was to Farrell. And to verify what Phil was saying, we were losing by 1 point with 5 seconds of play. We had the ball out of bounds under our basket, and our play was to throw the ball 12 feet high, and Wilt would dunk it. We threw the ball 12 feet high, and 2 guys pushed them in the stands, and the 2 officials ran out of the court and ran away because had they called a foul, they would have been lynched.
wow, unbelievable. CECIL Mosenson, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. We'll look forward to it. It all began with Wilt. It is a new book that is out, and anecdotes about Wilt during his day at Overbrook High School.